Tom, what's the atmosphere like in the dressing room there after that victory over Argentina?
Yeah, pretty positive. I mean, we're always happy with a convincing win like that. We'd have liked to have thrown the ball around a bit more and been a bit more sort of spectacular with some of our try scoring, but this is international rugby. It's just not going to happen. A team like Argentina aren't going to roll over. It's a difficult barometer, really, playing a team like Argentina. You never really know where you stand. You know, you beat them well. Was it because you were good or because they were poor? And if you if you come unstuck and struggle at times, is it your fault or is it because they're raising their game? And we've seen them play in the championship this year. They're coming a long way as a team. We played them out in Argentina, and although the scoreline was pretty convincing, I think that was a little bit misleading. They were a very good side, and it was only because we were right on top of our game that we managed to get those wins. So we're pretty pleased with that. There'll be lots of things that we'll go away and work on, but you've got to give them credit and say that a lot of it was down to their pressure and their defence.
The pack was hugely dominant in that first half, especially. What was going so right for you? What came so easily to you in that first opening 40?
I don't think anything came easy. I think that's a big focus for us. That was where their pride lay. That's where their game would stem from, and that they were going to come with a big physical pack. You could see that from the side they picked. They picked second rows in the back row. They were here to brawl. They were here to dominate in the physical areas, and we had to be really on our mettle up front, particularly at scrum time and at maul, and make sure that we gave them no change there and that we could get on the front foot. We knew if we could crack that, then that would be we'd take one of their biggest strengths away, and hopefully the rest of the game would flow from there.
When you're that dominant in the first half, especially as a pack, does that make it difficult to keep that intensity up in the second half? Where does the mentality lie when you've been so on top for the first 40?
It is always difficult. You go in the change room and you talk about more of the same. You talk about not letting the intensity drop. You talk about a big 10 minutes will hopefully crack the opposition. But you know that they're in the other changing room having a big fire up and saying that we need to get into this game, we need to get a foothold, we need to rattle the opposition, we need to get something for ourselves, we need to start forcing some errors. So their line speed goes up, their ruck intensity goes up. And that's just one of those things. I mean, the best teams control that. They manage those situations and come through them. Sometimes it's about taking the sting out of the opposition, using all of that fire against them, perhaps putting the ball in behind them, things like that. So there'll be things to learn out of this game. But overall, a convincing win against a strong Argentinian team is a big push for us.
New Zealand up next, of course, at Twickenham. Huge game again. 80-minute performance in last year's Test match to really, dominate New Zealand for long periods. Do you think that's what's required again next week?
Yeah, you're not going to beat the All Blacks with a half-hearted or 40-minute performance. They're a very fit side. They're a very skillful side. They move the ball incredibly well and they challenge you in all areas. We've got to make sure that we match that, and that's what we did last year. We came out with a lot of fire. We were brave. We weren't in awe of them, as some teams often are. Some teams are beaten before they take the field. We've got to make sure we do much the same. We're here at Twickenham, it's our home. No one gets anything easy here. That's our attitude, and we've got to make sure we apply pressure to them. And it will be a nail-biting, close game, no doubt. Hopefully we can come out on top of.
Do you take real confidence, though, from back-to-back wins over Southern Hemisphere teams?
Yeah, I mean, we're confident. We're confident in general because of the way we go about our business, the preparation we do in the week, and we train with a lot of intensity. So that's where a lot of our confidence comes from. Obviously, to back that up with a couple of strong wins puts us in a real good place. But we're under no illusion about how tough next week's going to be, and also what it means to them having broken their unbeaten record last year, taking that away from them. There'll be no complacency from them this year. They'll be full on and looking to right that wrong from their point of view. So it'd be really nice to finish on a high.